Get ready for a gun show, literally and figuratively, because today we are diving back into the chaotic life of the most cursed family in Thailand. If you thought the first 2 installments were wild, buckle up, because this time, the main character energy is off the charts. We are talking about a guy who solves paranormal problems not with holy water or prayers, but with a double-barreled shotgun and biceps that look like they were carved out of granite. Forget about The Conjuring. This is The Conjuring meets Rambo on steroids. Our story picks up in 1978, 3 years after the absolute bloodbath of the last movie. You think after blasting a centuries-old demon into oblivion, our boy Yak, let's call him Captain Thailand, would be chilling on a beach somewhere sipping coconut water. But no, H is back in the army, serving his country and looking more swole than ever. Seriously, the guy has had a glow-up that puts every Instagram fitness influencer to shame. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, things seem peaceful. His sister Yad is heavily pregnant, waddling around and radiating the Mother Earth vibe. The family is farming, laughing, and living the cottagecore life. But we all know this is just the calm before the absolute storm. The writers clearly woke up and chose violence because they decided this family hasn't suffered enough. The trouble starts with the youngest sister, Yi. Shush is cute, Shush is innocent, and Shush is about to make a rookie mistake that sends everything to hell. She loses a baby tooth. Normal kid stuff, right? But instead of putting it under her pillow for the tooth fairy, she decides to throw it on the roof while reciting some weird incantation she probably heard from a sketchy neighbor. Big mistake. Huge. This act basically turns on the demon GPS and alerts every evil spirit in a 50-mile radius that the buffet is open. That night, while everyone is sleeping like logs, a dark entity slips into the house. It's not the creepy old lady from before, this is something ancient. Something that smells like rotten bad decisions. In a blink, Yi is snatched from her bed, gone, sent to the shadow realm. The next morning, the family wakes up to an empty bed and absolute panic. Yak gets the call and you can practically see the steam coming out of his ears. H is like, "Are you kidding me? I just wanted a quiet weekend." He immediately switches into John Wick mode. He grabs his legendary shotgun, rounds up his brothers, let's call them the sidekick squad, and calls in his buddy, Officer Paffen, who is basically the comic relief of this horror show. They do a little seance, call up the spirit of their deceased sister from the first movie, RIP Queen, and get the location. Yi has been taken to Bongsanobyeong. Even the name sounds like a place where you go to get deleted. It's a cursed forest that makes the Amazon look like a petting zoo. Locals say if you go in, you don't come out, but Yak doesn't care about local legends. He cares about ammo capacity. The journey into the jungle is a trip. The car breaks down, classic horror trope. The GPS fails, and they meet some indigenous locals who give them the standard turn back or die warning. Yak, being the absolute Chad that he is, ignores them. H is like, "I don't need luck, I have bullets." They enter the forest, and the vibe instantly shifts from adventure to nightmare fuel. The trees look like twisted limbs. The fog is thicker than a milkshake, and the silence is deafening. But not for long. Soon, they are ambushed, not by ghosts, but by what look like zombies-possessed villagers who are rotting but moving with terrifying speed. This is where the movie turns into a first-person shooter. Yak starts blasting. Bam, bam, bam. H is dropping bodies left and right, screaming profanities, and looking absolutely fire while doing it. It's less scary and more action movie with jump scares. And honestly, we are here for it. As they push deeper into the enemy territory, we get a lore drop. We find out who the big bad is. Flashback to 1825. We see a Burmese woman running for her life. Soldiers kill her child. In her grief and rage, she curses the gods, destroys a shrine, and transforms into a vengeful spirit. She hates men, hates humanity, and has a specific hobby of kidnapping little girls to use in her dark rituals. So, Shush is basically the final boss of toxic ex-girlfriends. Holding a grudge for over a century, Shush is the black spirit, and she makes the previous villain look like a misunderstood toddler. Yak and the boys finally find the cult's hideout. It's a creepy cave filled with chanting cultists who look like they need a shower and a hug. Yi is tied up on an altar, looking terrified. The cultists are doing their mumble-rap prayers, preparing to sacrifice her. Yak doesn't bother with stealth. He kicks the door down, metaphorically. It's a cave, and announces his presence with a shotgun blast to the ceiling. Party's over. Weirdos. The final battle is absolute chaos. It's a Royal Rumble in a cave. And this is the moment the audience has been waiting for. In the heat of the fight, Yak's shirt gets ripped, or maybe he just flexed too hard. And bam, shirtless scene, six-pack glistening in the torchlight. The cinema goes wild. He pulls out a magic dagger that Officer Patham blessed or found on eBay. Who knows? And charges at the Black Spirit. The demon is huge, smoky, and throwing Yak around like a ragdoll. For a second, it looks like Yak is going to get owned. H is bleeding, H is bruised, H is on the ropes, but then, he remembers his family. He remembers his mom's cooking. He remembers that H is the main character. With a surge of adrenaline and maybe some spiritual assistance, Yak lunges. He dodges a shadow claw, slides under the demon's guard, and plunges the magic dagger straight into its heart, or whatever demons have. He screams something that would definitely get censored on daytime TV. And the demon explodes into a cloud of black smoke. The cave starts collapsing because, of course, it does. The squad grabs Yi and they sprint for the exit while rocks fall around them like rain. They dive out just as the entrance seals shut. Explosion in the background? Check. Slow motion war? Check. Yak holding his little sister, looking like a battered god of war? Triple check. The movie ends with a touching family reunion. Yi is safe, although Shush is definitely going to need therapy for the rest of her life. Yad gives birth to a healthy baby, symbolizing new hope. Yak looks at his family, bruised but unbeaten, and smiles. But wait, the camera pans to a dark corner of the forest. A pair of glowing red eyes watches them leave. Surprise. Bestie. The evil isn't gone, it's just regrouping. Sequel bait confirmed. Honestly, this movie is a ride. It's not trying to be high art, it's trying to be a high-octane exorcism with guns. And it succeeds. It's outplayed the typical horror tropes by simply shooting them in the face. If you like your scares with a side of testosterone and explosions, this is the one for you. So, what do you think? Is Yak the best horror protagonist ever? Or does he need to chill with the violence? Would you survive a night in that forest? Or would you be the first one to get deleted? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this lit recap, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss our upload. Stay safe, don't throw your teeth on the roof, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.